What's up? What's up? What's up? Monday. Happy Monday. Give me just a second. I wanted to retweet. Since we're live on Twitter, I wanted to retweet this real fast. All right. So, live on Twitter, live on YouTube today. If you're watching on Twitter, please do me a favor and retweet this like right now. Go retweet it. I think you can even stay in the video and retweet it if you want to. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Also, if you are watching on Twitter and you like the way the plays are laid out, you like the interaction, you like whatever, come on over, support me on YouTube, please support me on YouTube. That is, well, not yet, but that's the money maker. We're trying to get it to be a money maker, so help me out over there. And lastly, final call to anybody that's listening on just the audio side. I have yet to hear anybody reach out that says, yes, I only listen to the podcast on audio. Please continue to do it. I have not heard that yet. So do that, please, because like I said, I'm tired of paying for something that I feel like people aren't listening to as often as they're listening to it, listening/watching on YouTube or on Twitter, or, when I go live, every other couple days or whatever it is, every 2 days, every 3 days, something like that. All right. So here we go. Let me pull my notes up here. Marcus, today's a new day. Always a new day to you start fresh every day, hopeful. Hopeful to start winning some money. You right? Go to bed happy. Let's see. Today is Monday, 5/6. Before we get into today's plays, always look back and see what we did yesterday. Decent amount of baseball, 10 games, I think, on the slate so far today. We still have the White Sox and the Rays still showing no pitchers. So they're both TBD on there. So that's weird. I mean, it's almost noon and we don't know who's pitching in those games. Interested in that game. The White Sox did sweep the Rays. I feel like the Rays probably do come out and bust some heads kind of thing. But we had gone 5 straight days positive. Unfortunately, we did lose that, our streak. So here we are ready to start a new streak. So thanks so much for these. Like, bots are so funny, by the way. Like, I'll post something, I have 10 messages right away, and it's like fixed matches or guaranteed soccer bets and just stuff like that. It's frustrating. Are the Dodgers back? Chuck, I'm actually contemplating, as square as it could be, like the Phillies and the Dodgers money line together just feels like magic, but I don't know. What's up, TJ? Anyway, recap from yesterday. Rollover play from Saturday. Wes Hills, that running back play. Unfortunately, the Panthers just really struggled. The Panthers did win that game, but the Michigan Panthers really struggled in that game. They weren't winning like we thought they would be. They weren't up. So I mean that's what kind of had kind of really messed us up there. The running back too was running really well, and sometimes you have to just take the hot hand, and teams will certainly do that. Guardians Angels over 8. Guardians been so hit and miss. They turn it on a little late. Angels just couldn't score, so we missed on that one. Honestly, I mean, probably a bad play on my side, taking 2 teams that we know that are both a little wishy-washy, with their scoring. But I mean, the pitching matchup was, Griffin Canning, you pitch just lights out, and we're going to have stuff like that happens, unfortunately. Brewers and Cubs under 6.5. That one hit really easily today. We have wind blowing in again at Wrigley, but I certainly wouldn't run to bet the under. I don't think today with the 2 teams that are playing. Giants money line. Walker did pitch pretty average. He gave up 3 runs in however many innings that he pitched, but the Giants offense has just been pretty flat. And we'll talk more about the Giants offense here in a second. But, Taijuan Walker, pitched as expected, but unfortunately the Giants didn't really capitalize. They had a home run in the top of the 9th. Unfortunately, there weren't 2 guys on to tie it up or anything like that. So Phillies, bullpen tries to mess things up again, but they were able to hold on. For those of you that don't know, I've got the kids are home with me. I got one sleeping. My 3-year-old is yelling, "Oh damn it!" from his room. So I always gotta, "What'd you do, buddy?" But he hasn't come in here to tell me anything yet, so we'll see. Right, we'll get on the board here. Yesterday though, just as a whole, I mean, like, unfortunately, we continue to shout out to Marcus. Get me looking at college baseball. We did hit that college baseball play. Trent hit the Clemson and Florida State. I gave out Arizona and Clemson, both easy, super easy wins. Clemson, I mean, Clemson ran the board. Really good win there. Arizona did start a little small, and then they dropped a 5 spot, I think, and they ended up winning like 9-3 or something like that. So pretty easy win there. If you took Arizona State, man, holy hell, that was like 21-18 or something like that. I had talked about taking Arizona State. That one still did win. I didn't even look to see if there was any college baseball on today or not. College baseball does continue to be a bright spot for me, especially in the Discord. I end up going 1-1. I mean, flat. Literally, I think I'm flat for the entire year again. I was up 3 units. I had a bad day on Saturday. I lost. I broke even. Back again. So we continue to. Yeah, I don't think there's any baseball on. At least DraftKings doesn't have anything up. But you know what's actually just really frustrating, and that's where like a bit of like I still don't I am certainly out of like the little bit of a cold streak that I was on. But it gets to the point where it's not that you're afraid to lose. Like, people are relying on me to win. They pay money for that. So I do pick and choose. I picked what I thought were my best two plays. I pulled the totals down and did a little bit of a builder. It did not hit, unfortunately. And then I went on to watch all of my leans hit. I had about 5 plays that I had, mentally written down, and there was a lot of runs scored. I just had a feeling that Manoah was going to get killed. The Nationals, that game went over. The Mariners game, their first 5 team total was only 1.5. It was minus 140, so kind of juiced. I think I was afraid. I didn't want to play 1.4. Didn't really want to get out of 140. That hit in like the second inning. They hit really well. Padres and Diamondbacks, I think it was. That went flying over like I thought it would. So Orioles first 5 team total went over like I thought it would. A lot of good reads yesterday. Unfortunately, I just didn't share them. So I mean, I guess I could say like I saw the board really well. So I guess I can be excited about that, if that makes sense. So, but without further ado, you guys aren't here to listen to me, soapbox, whatever it is. We'll talk about it if I ever have Jay's questions. Yep. Knicks and Nuggets 2-leg NBA builder tonight. I I haven't really looked a lot at the NBA, Chuck, but those guys are both home in the first game of the series, I think, right? I mean, you would think that both of those teams should win. Sometimes you talk I mentioned it, I said it already, like there's like the square plays or whatever, but I mean, it's different angles. I was on who was it? I was on the Pacers to win the other day when they were at home and they were going to clinch the series. And then I was on the Knicks and they were actually dogs away, and I gave them points up to like 7.5, and obviously I think they ultimately won that game. But you got the first game at home, and I believe in the series plus 101 for the Knicks to beat the Pacers at home, plus 101 for Denver to win at home. Look, the Wolves could win this series, but Denver's not going to lose this first game. So Chuck, plus 101 at that. I mean, I haven't been, look, like baseball came out and I probably shouldn't have hopped out of NBA as fast as I did. But I don't know if we're dealing with any injuries or anything like that. But I mean, it's even money for those two. It doesn't seem like a bad play, to be honest. I mean, I would probably want to do some research or at least read some other people's thoughts on some, on action or covers or something like that, just to kind of get my mind right or whatever. But you would think, though, both of these teams at home, with just that home atmosphere and the beginning of a playoff series, man. I mean, Knicks, the Garden, Nuggets, and the altitude seems like a pretty good look, to be honest. See, okay. That's how much I'm not really paying attention. I guess I didn't realize that they had played already. So did the Knicks and Pacers play already? Man, I'm ashamed for not knowing that. Definitely though, no way Nuggets go down 0-2. I mean, especially at home, Marcus. I think that's for sure. Let's get into the plays here though. And then we can chat about some stuff. I feel like I got some good reads here. Somebody actually said, let me just say, I thought that was game one. So, guys, yeah, I mean, Knicks game one, and then the Nuggets at home to not go 0-2. Boy, that at even money, that doesn't seem like a bad bet. I wasn't even thinking about it, and now like you got me like, man, I might run that. Might have to run that for a unit. Throw a unit on it, whatever your unit is. Hey, and that's the thing. If you're following units, you certainly shouldn't be afraid to have a high volume out or anything like that. Um, I think that in the Discord, in February I was up 25 units. In March I was up 35 units, and then in April I was literally up just a unit. And I think that in my head, like I'm like, that's failure or whatever. I guess I got lucky, or I wish I was like that again or whatever. Um, you I got spoiled, I think is what I'm looking for. It's okay to break even, which is where I've been at. That's, breaking even is certainly better than losing. But I certainly wish I was up 30 units, every month like I had been. I've been like, 222 units with my old group, and I'm up like 65 right now. So that's 287. So I'm 13 units away from hitting 300 career. I've been doing this for like 2 years or something like that. So I feel like that's pretty good. I thought I was going to coast to it. I went up 15 units, in the beginning of April, and I just literally fell apart, or maybe baseball fell apart. And then, yeah, if you're in the Discord, FanDuel's got that boost builder. And when those come out, I've just literally been taking a person to get a hit in every single game. And boy, like we were close last time. I think we went 12 or 13. Maybe one other person didn't get a hit at the end because I stopped paying attention, but we were getting pretty close. Anyway, that's no official play, but if you're looking at the Knicks and the Nuggets, I think as square as it is, man, it makes sense. And I wasn't going to give any plays out too early today, but I don't know if I see those money lines really moving much either. But I think I think it's a good look, Chuck. Thank you for bringing it up, fellow Vikings fan. And actually, let me say before we get into this plays, this is what I was about to say. And I apologize. Like, I like to talk to you guys, or I like to it's just kind of getting thoughts out of my head because my wife honestly could give two shits about what goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to tell her stuff. She's like, okay, whatever. But somebody messaged me, or or commented on one of my plays, or let's say I posted something, and they're like, you should start giving out more of the podcast plays in the Discord. And like I've definitely been thinking about it. Like I give these three plays out, and then I sometimes there's overlap, but like I just sometimes I feel guilty running the exact same play, that I give out, for free, and then giving out to the people that like pay or whatever. But I guess certainly, a win's a win. But like I explained to him too, like it allows me to be able to have the freedom of taking plays and not have to worry about if somebody's on the other side. And that's a bit of an issue that I have taken, like, run lines or money lines, even sometimes, is that like sometimes I feel like I need to wait and see you probably know who I'm talking about until another person posts, because I don't want to go against that person who does bet with a higher volume of me. So like, unfortunately, like, there's times where I pass on a play because that person gave out the opposite, and whether or not I agree, I'm not going to go against him on purpose, so like, given the plays here, it allows me to have freedom of whatever I want instead of having to worry about crossing somebody else, which is obviously just a bad look. Like, I don't want to give out a play that's opposite of somebody else's, and then it's always like a fight, or everyone's like, who are you going to choose? It's this person versus this person. And it's more like, hey, like, sorry, like, we try not to do that or whatever. But I've been talking for a while. We haven't really got to anything. Those are listening. I don't even think you're listening anymore. But let's go hop into the plays. When I got the interaction, I like to talk about sports and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't. During the day, I just got my just the kids are at home. My almost 4 year old. The next month he turns 4. He's not talking sports with me. And then my youngest just throws up on the carpet all the time. Phillies -1.5 for the first play. Let me click back over to mine. I got NBA stuff pulled up here. Okay. What's that, TJ? What's that? I think they should support you for giving them plays that hit and watch a show and get them free. everyone. Yeah. Well, everybody should support me. But I mean, I got a YouTube notification. I thought somebody subscribed to me. I got excited. I mean, I guess I don't know what I mean. Anyway, Phillies -1.5. I got a lot of faith in the Phillies team. The Phillies one of the teams that I feel really comfortable betting on. The Phillies, Braves. Is that it? I'm liking the Padres. I have been betting on the Cubs a lot. I do wish I could watch the Cubs, but unfortunately, MLB TV, they got the blackout. I'm sure the Dodgers win my heart back here soon. The Dodgers have been banned or whatever, but like I said, Phillies and Dodgers money line does not seem like a bad look. So Dodgers have Bueller pitching, who hasn't really pitched in like 2 years after he's having all that the Tommy John, then he had like a flexor tendon surgery or something like that going against the Marlins. I mean, the Dodgers absolutely win that game. I don't know how well Bueller is going to pitch. Munoz hasn't been terrible. But let's talk about the Phillies. Ace, Zach Wheeler on the mound. He's given up just 1 run in his last 3 starts. So, I mean, he's looked fantastic in those last 3 outings. And he has won every single outing that he's had in the last 3. So he's, 3 straight wins after starting 0-3. But really, it was the Phillies, offense just really wasn't producing. Obviously, Trey Turner's on the shelf now, unfortunately, but not overly worried about it. Trey's been out for the last 3 or 4 days, and the Phillies offense still has been able to perform. It sucks that he's missing. But just like the Cubs are missing Suzuki, the Cubs are missing Bellinger, like those teams are still able to win and still able to produce. And it's obviously just going to be back when those players come back. So shout out to Trey. Hopefully he gets back, gets recovered and everything like that and gets back, sooner than later. On the year, Zach Wheeler's pitching a 1.91 ERA, which obviously is fantastic. I mean, even in a 3, a 3 ERA still really isn't that bad, guys. He's got a sub-2. At home, he's pitching a 1.855 and a 0.86 whip. My boy Feezy just texted me, the MMA guru. Oh boy, Feezy cracks me up. I don't know if you guys know who Feezy is. We've been around for a while. But 0.86 whip, which is fantastic, right? So we have an awesome pitcher advantage, in my opinion. Zach Wheeler. We have the Phillies, who are really just a better offense. I would certainly say, let me say before we talk anymore, that an alternative to this play on DraftKings would be Zach Wheeler to get a win. All right, minus like 115. There's a little bit of a fear there because what if it's tied at 5 and Phillies crack it open or something like that, But in order for him to win, he's got to go 5 innings, and he has to be winning when he gets taken out. Sorry, we've been trying to cook something up, and of course he texts me right now. But I think he probably goes out and gets a win. I feel that I feel like it's a good pivot depending on how you want to play it. I do feel like the -1.5 is a little safer because we have a full complement of innings and everything like that. But just FYI, it's something else that you could play if you wanted to go that route. Phillies was plus money at -1.5. It is now -102, so it's come down a little bit. Giants have Mason Black going though. Awesome AAA pitcher. Guy's been fantastic. He has the lowest ERA in the league. He's been excellent. Dude's been really good. I'm sure he pitches well, but this is a tough place to go and pitch at. Do I have it written down? He's only been throwing about 70 pitches per start, which realistically is a pretty low amount for the major leagues. If you think about, Zach Wheeler's been going like 100 plus here recently. More so, he's been getting in trouble. He got in trouble early a few times, but he's been going 100 plus like real often. This guy's only going 70. So now we're getting into the major leagues where in AAA, I tell you, are these guys, have as good a plate discipline? Are they fouling balls off? Is he having, an easier time of pitching? Yes. And if he's only going 70 innings, 70 pitches, is he going to be ready to go deeper? I don't think so. I think 70 pitches may only get him 4 or 5 innings, depending on how these Phillies hit him. And honestly, I think the Phillies hit him. The Phillies have some strong. Well, actually, the wind is blowing out. Um, in Philly, blown out to right field. The Phillies have some strong lefty bats. Um, I used to really like to bet like Kyle Schwarber, well, first plate appearance, first pitch, like to be extra bases or something like that. It'd be like plus 4,000 or something dumb like that. Like that feels like the chance. Like this dude's gonna want to just come out, throw a strike as first pitch. Kyle Schwarber's gonna sit on it and double home run or something like that. So I don't even know if that's. Let me see if that's even like around. I'm sure it's still a thing, but what the odds are? Let's see. I'd have to find it. Innings, maybe. Maybe they don't even have it anymore. I'm sure they do though. Like the first pitch, it used to be under popular, and I don't see it anymore. I see there's a specials. Man, even like let's see, they're home? So bottom of the first, for them to hit a home run in the first inning is plus 410. I mean, that might not be a bad one either. But I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the guy's a good pitcher, like I said, but he's going into Philly against the Phillies, which is a strong offensive team. Ballpark Pal has this as a 21% increase in home run chance and 11% increase in runs. And it just sounds like a terrible environment for a rookie pitcher to go pitch. And that's what I'm kind of basing it off of. The guy and the fact that the guy only throws 70. The guy is only throwing 70 pitches an outing or so. Philly's got some strong lefties. You have wind blowing out to right field. So you're talking about like a pull hitter type thing. Most lefties are pulling the hell out of the ball. I think Phillies get it done. I think the Phillies offense is too good. And we haven't even talked about the fact that the Giants really aren't scoring very well. The Giants had another catcher get hurt. Like they're limited. They're not hitting the ball well. They're not supporting their pitchers very well. I think that I think they get it done. Jared, that makes sense. I feel like I've seen your Twitter before. I think you got an eagle picture on there. Wind's still blowing out a little bit though. Not windy, but it's still a bit of a factor when you look at like like the way like I said before, like it goes in like the wall height, the way like the field's positioned, even the way like the wind like funnels in or whatever. Some stadiums that have higher walls don't have to worry about any wind or anything like that. But anyway, Phillies minus 1.5 is the first play. Second play, dang it, I keep forgetting to show the graphics, guys. Let's do that. I got so used to doing it, I forgot last time. So there you go. Obviously, like it's whatever. Like it's just then you don't have to look at me so big. I forget they call it. They call it like a break. It's like a mental break or something like that. If you guys are just staring at me, it's hard to see what's going on. But if somebody's watching this on a recorded version, they could scroll through and see the different images change, and then they'll be able to people watching on a recorded version can see a little easier that way too. Second play, I told you I'm a Cubs. I've been a Cubs believer. I like the Cubs money line. We do have wind blowing in again, which will limit runs. I was on the under the first game when the wind was blowing in, wind was blowing out. I didn't touch it, but the game went over. Then it was on the under again with the wind blowing in. Similar situation. Do we want to run to the under this time? Honestly, like I'm not running to it to back the under in this one. The Padres have been hitting the ball really well. So if we do get into a little bit of like a shootout or something like that, hey, I want to be careful. The Cubs were able to put up 5 runs themselves yesterday in a windy environment. The Brewers just weren't able to hit. So we have like a 5-4 type win for the Cubs. Obviously, the over hits. I don't want to mess with the under just because of the offense that the Padres do have. Definitely given Luis Ariz has been like a fantastic for this team. The Cubs have Justin Steele coming back, who is more than likely considered to be their ace. Honestly, Shota Emenaga has been fantastic. He realistically is probably going to the season. Justin Steele is probably considered to be their ace. Right now, it's probably Emenaga. But in his opening day, he went 4.2 innings pitched with 1 run and 3 hits given up before he left with an injury. I don't know what happened, to be completely honest. I don't know if he got hit with the ball. I don't know if he got hurt. I don't know what happened. I don't even know what the injury was, to be completely honest with you. I mentioned it before. Like, there's a ton of players in the MLB. There's a lot of teams. Can't keep track of it all. Dude's a solid pitcher. I don't know what his pitch count's going to be, but he's going to be on a pitch count. Do not be upset if you're watching this game and he gets pulled in 5th inning and he's cruising. He's not going to be stretched out yet. He's not going to be ready to go. I don't know what kind of action he's had in AAA. I'm sure he's been, pitching somewhere in the United States, in the AAA. I don't know who the Cubs affiliate is. I do know it's the South Bend Cubs AAA though. I don't know if the South Bend Cubs are AAA. I've been there quite a few times. I don't think that's a AAA affiliate. But anyway, I think we have a pitcher matchup here, a good pitcher advantage. You got Darvish going the other side for the Padres, 3.45 ERA outside of his last start against Cincinnati. Dude just really struggled. And the Reds bats are hot and cold, as we've seen. I was on the Reds. I was thinking Iowa. That's right, David. Yeah, good look. But one of my leans yesterday was thinking the over for the Orioles and and the Reds. I don't think the Reds scored a dang run. They're back and forth, so he was able to shut the Reds down. I don't think that was really like a good thing. Before the Reds, he had given up 10 runs in 3 starts, including the one time that he did face the Cubs this year on April 8th. He faced them. He was only able to go 3 innings because he was in trouble. And he gave up 4 runs in just 3 innings against the same Cubs team. I will say Bellinger was probably there. Suzuki, I think, was probably there. Different offense. These guys are different with those guys 2 out, but they've still been able to put up some production. They're stable, hit the ball. There's also some familiarity, like I said, with this Darvish, with the Cubs lineup, and I just think they're able to hit them. We're missing those 2 guys. I thought I had it written down. The Cubs home record's like pretty good. It's like 14-3 or something like that. I mean, they have not lost many games at home, and I just don't think they lose this one either. Darvish is no longer the Darvish of 5 years ago, something like that. I think Cubs get to him. I think Cubs get the win. So the second play is the Cubs money line. Before we get into the third play, as always, please do me a favor. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you're watching on Twitter, go ahead and if you want to comment and stuff, I can see it just like I can see the comments on YouTube. If you are watching on Twitter, you cannot see these comments on YouTube like everybody else can talk to each other. So when I'm like talking about this random stuff, like it's because it's interacting with the YouTube chat. So come on over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button for me, please. It's free to watch it, free to hit the button, free to hit the like button, free to hit the subscribe button. Help me help you. Third play. I actually really like this play. I think we have a nice little sneaky advantage here. I want to see if it happened to have moved. I feel like I found a gem. I'm not going to lie. This feels like, VIP type material here. If you're in the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, this is that type of a standard type play or whatever. We still got minus 102 on what I have here. I think I can hear the pitter patter of my son's feet running through the living room. He's going to come in here in the next 30 seconds and want me to open some kind of chips for him. I guarantee it. Oh, he's in the fridge. Oh, here he is. Told you. What are you doing?
Hey, I want the juice.
There was no juices in there, was there?
I want juice. Yeah. Here, juice.
Okay, I'm almost done, and then we'll have lunch, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go watch your show.
No.
Yeah, go.
No.
Okay. Okay. Dude cracks me up. All right. Anyway, Mets money line. Mets first 5 money line, minus 102. You got Cardinals favorite at minus 122. I think the books are wrong. I just think it's wrong. I think that I think I trust Manea a lot more than I do Gibson here. And I like this here because we have the potential of a push with the first 5. It's at, it's if it's tied, no harm, no foul. We get our money back. That's why we're not messing with the run line. Honestly, what's the run line? Is it? It's juice. Honestly, the run line at plus 0.5 at minus 146, maybe not a bad play. But TJ, yeah, when he gets to the point where I can get him to talk a little better, I feel like we could do a little something, like try to get him like TikTok famous or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Have him talk about betting, I like the minus 1.5 run line for the Phillies today. You know what I'm saying? So we're getting there. But anyway, wrong team favored. I just trust Manea a lot more than I do Gibson. Manea's gone now 2 outings with just giving up 1 run in those 2 outings. I will tell you, like, he isn't pitching very deep. 4 innings, something like that, but I'm optimistic that he's able to get. I forgot to change the picture again. I'm optimistic that he's able to get us 5 innings here. He's had some control issues, so if he can just keep it down, I feel like we're going to be okay. Kyle is his first name, I think. Kyle Gibson, after starting rough, has been solid. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he started out looking pretty bad. But giving up 1 run in each of his last 3 starts, and he's going 6, 6, and 7 innings pitched, which is obviously a sign of the fact that he's pitching pretty well there. I think Kyle Gibson has been a good pitcher, but I've watched this Cardinals team just lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. The Cardinals are not hitting the ball well at all right now, and the Mets are starting to heat up. Francisco Lindor was just struggling, just mightily. Just dude could not hit the ball. He had a first run home run yesterday. He has 5 hits in his last 4 games. He's hit in 7 of his last 10. He was in a hell of a slump, and he's been doing good. If I pull up the pitcher versus batter versus pitcher matchup here, these Mets hit Kyle Gibson very, very well. If you look at it from the top, Jeff McNeil, lefty in his career, 19 at bats. So we're not talking any like these 5 innings. So it's like fake or a fake batting average type stuff. He's batting 368 against him in his career. He's got 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 7 hits. JD Martinez in his career batting nearly 300, .294. He also has two home runs against them, 10 hits. Brandon Nimmo batting 278. He's got a home run, multiple hits against them. Joey Wendell, the name's not familiar. I think he's only been with the club for a little bit here, or maybe he was hurt. He's batting nearly 400, 379. And then you get down to, but then you look like Pete Alonso. Man, Pete Alonso's faced him 20 times, and he doesn't have a hit. 6 strikeouts and some walks. So, I mean, that's not awesome. Starling Marte, he's faced him 14 times. He's batting 385 against them. Francisco Lindor faced him 60 times. He's batting 352 against them. There is some fantastic familiarity with here. This Mets lineup is very, very veteran focused. There's not a lot of rookies in this Mets lineup. You look at like the Orioles. The Orioles are a very, very young team. The Mets are not. Man, the Mets are the old dogs still out there proving that they can play some baseball. The Mets are heating up. The Mets, I think if someone's going to get to Gibson, I think the Mets, if there's any time for the Mets to break out, it is today. It is today. The Mets have faced this dude and hit him extremely well. I'm sure I could go through and do the actual math to show what the current, lineup take all the at bats and divide it, take all the hits, divide it by all the at bats and get the batting average or whatever. But I mean, I'm looking at this, a good 5 or 6 of these guys that's going to be in the lineup today are batting over 300, some of them pushing 400. I mean, come on, and the fact that they're heating up. The Mets are actually hitting well away from home too. They've scored 82 runs away and 68 at home this year. They actually have the 4th highest batting average away from home than any other team, which is, uncharacteristic. I mean, it's just, that's not something you see. But I mean, they are much, much better hitting away than they are at home. I think this is a fantastic spot for the Mets. If it doesn't hit, it's absolutely the right bet, in my opinion. Of course, I guess you can say it's the wrong bet if it doesn't hit, but I feel really, really good about it. I really like it. That's gonna be the play. So I'm gonna recap here for the audio side of things because it's been taking forever to upload these dang podcasts for some reason. So we're already been talking for 30 plus minutes. So I apologize for it being a little longer today. Like I said, kind of just nice to kind of think out loud and kind of constantly trying to come up with ways to win, and you have to evolve in this game. And if things aren't working, I'm thinking like maybe I need to start trying to think about some player props. There's just a lot of pitcher props. I mean, man, I was killing it on player props, and I just can't, like, I can't even get a guy to hit I can't even get a guy to hit the ball. I was on Wilson Contreras the other day, get a hit. He walked 3 times. I mean, come on. Jeff McNeil for total bases today seems like a solid look. The guys hit him really well. But if you look at like what he's done recently, like, I don't know, not fantastic, Anyway, like pitcher props, I mean, they have, hits allowed. They have, over under in hits allowed. They have over under in strikeouts. They have over under in like outs. Like there's a lot of pitcher props out there. And if there's a guy in there that you think is going to get nailed, you take him for hits. And if there's a guy you think that's going to, do really well, You take them for under hits, you know what I'm saying, or over outs or whatever. There's so many variations to play it. It's just something I think, I've said, for those of you that have been with me, I said from the beginning of baseball season, I don't like to bet on pitcher props, but it's sometimes you evolve or you die. And maybe that's something we need to look at. But to recap here for the audio side of things, if anybody has a home run hitter, I got 3 picked out, but I mean, there was 2 of them that I thought I liked, and a third one I kind of threw in. Let me know if anybody has somebody you like to hit a home run today. But to recap here for the podcast, we're going to go with the Brewers. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Phillies -1.5 for the first play. Cubs money line for the second. The third play, I like the Mets first 5 money line. Those are going to be the 3 plays. Thanks so much for listening. If you are just listening on podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, whatever else is out there that I send this to, please do me a favor, reach out on Twitter at LiveJoeBets. Come over to YouTube. I think there's even an email available on most of the platforms. You can email me. Someone needs to let me know that you're continuously watching. If not, we're nearing the end of the days of just the recording side of the podcast. But appreciate you guys for listening, and I will be back tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with doing like the Spotify thing. Like it's not a lot, but it costs me like $20 a month to like host, to push it out or whatever. And if no one's listening, then why am I spending $20 a month? I could go, like, that's how much Outlier costs. Okay, home runs real quick. I know a lot of people took off. I'll probably just, unless someone's got something, I'll probably just let you know what we're gonna run, I suppose, unless somebody's got some input. But I really wanted to take a Philly today going against this pitcher, especially with the wind conditions that we're having, or the hitting, the ballpark factors, I guess you can say. I'm thinking Kyle Schwarber. I'm thinking Kyle Schwarber plus 255. So I mean, kind of lower, maybe the lowest odds for today. But like Kyle Schwarber for one guy to hit a home run. Yeah, Howard. Yeah. I know you guys are here on YouTube, Twitter, stuff like that. Gonna stay on YouTube. I just, like, this started by just doing audio. It was just Spotify, and I was pushing Spotify and stuff like that. And there's a lot of like people tuning in, and I could track like the analytics and stuff. And now it's like, and it shows like your top episodes, and I have to literally scroll all the way to the bottom, every time, just to kind of see, like how many people seen it or whatever. I mean, we're talking like pretty low amount of, listens or whatever. And like I said, I mean, why stretch it thin and have to like, talk separately, or I got to make sure I pull up a separate thing. And then when I'm done, I can't just go do something. I got to post it and, stuff. So that's all I mean. Anyway, first one, Kyle Schwarber. We talked about Ohtani starting to heat up. I was liking Ohtani today too. As a second one. And then the third, the Royals have a pretty good hitting environment again too. You have that pitcher for the Brewers. I can't think of his name. Wilson. Was a starter. Then they transitioned him to a reliever, and then they started him out. They kind of have him stretching him out to be a starter again. You have, like I said, good hitting conditions of the Royals game today. I just kind of had a feeling about Salvador Perez, to be honest. Yeah, appreciate it, Howard. Let's pull that one up here. For those of you that can't read, or you're on Twitter, just found me a few days ago. A favorite for sure. Appreciate you, Howard. So anyway, unless somebody's got a third that you feel really good, I like Salvador Perez, like, is my favorite from that game, to be honest. Perez has been hitting the ball well. So I mean, I'm thinking Kyle Schwarber, Salvador Perez, Shohei Ohtani, and it's moving, but it's nearly plus 5,000, plus 4,991 on FanDuel. Man, I started out hot with these home run parlays. I went 2 for 3, like literally the first 3 days in a row. I need Ohtani to hit a home run, early on to cash the plus 4,000, and he couldn't do it. I was so dang close. And then I started getting I wasn't getting any, and I've been doing a lot of 1 out of 3s. Obviously you don't hit them if you don't play them, so that's why I continue to do it, continue to post it, everything like that. So that's what we're going to run. Schwarber, Perez, and Ohtani for it. But I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Most people took off already here, so there's not I can't ever tell how many people watch on Twitter. It shows 246, but that's I think just who is like either clicked on it or like scrolled by it or something. I'm not really sure how that works. But anyhow, though, appreciate you guys. Got to get my son going for some lunch here. Still got man, no baseball till 4:00, so I just got about 4 hours. As soon as my youngest wakes up, I was gonna mow the backyard and do some housework and stuff like that. So we'll lock these 3 in that I have for the podcast here. If you're in the Discord, I'll have some more coming. And then the home run parlay, of course, as well. But I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys back tomorrow at 11:30.